Hey guys, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro-Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave that awesome like on the video. We're always here, man, bringing you lots of news about Mengao with a special sponsorship today from Maps Rent-A-Car, which is coming to Orlando and Miami. You want to make sure you get your car, man? They have luxury cars, futuristic cars like this one here, which is the Tesla Cybertruck. I'm actually here at the Tesla Supercharger giving it a charge. It's awesome, man. It's incredible technology, and you can make sure you get your Cybertruck while you're traveling, making your dream of experiencing all this technology come true. You come to Florida and you get to drive a Cybertruck. They're everywhere, man. Everywhere has this. Let me show you. Take a look. I'll just show you here. Let me take this off. Look at that. So check this out. Let's bring some important news here before we start our coverage from Nindarubu. But I want to, man, this one, I want to watch it together with you, right? Which was the statement, okay? Is it Jose Boto's statement? I see a lot of people talking about it. Look, even Ekran Connor, along with other profiles, is posting about Dybala, right? Paulo Dybala at Flamengo, okay? Is there really something about Paulo Dybala at Flamengo? I'm going to tell you here why I don't believe at this moment in this signing. Although Boto and company, if it's a player, a Galactico, they might make an exception, okay? He says that, according to information from Ekran Connor, Paulo Dybala was offered to Flamengo for 2026. Libertadores champion, and he was a world champion, right? Paulo Dybala, world champion with Argentina. The Argentine has a contract with Roma until June this year, and Boca also dreams of signing him. Look, let me just bring some important information here, okay? With all these collab tags that people are putting with Bala wearing the Flamengo jersey and all, I obviously think it would be a great fit. I'm a fan, right? Paulo Dybala plays really well, but it's still under investigation. We got in touch with Ponte, connected to the management, who just replied about Dybala being offered 6 months ago or more. I remember I was in Rio Grande do Sul for the Flamengo versus Internacional Libertadores match. I said it would be interesting for Flamengo to go after Bala. It was a suggestion, and then I said the name was well regarded. There are directors, there are people internally who love Dybala's name. He was well regarded today, right? A Turkish journalist, Ekrem Kono, brought the information that Dybala was offered to Flamengo. But the agent could have told him, someone in the business could have told him, journalists aren't there to make up information, so someone made it up and passed it on to him. Because the information I got from a source connected to Flamengo's board is that Dybala wasn't even offered. Flamengo isn't rejecting him due to age. He's just over their current 26-year-old limit. Boto confirmed today they're seeking players up to 26. And I had mentioned here that there could be an exception. If a player of that level like Arias wanted to come back to Brazil and gave Flamengo the chance to sign him, they could make an exception, maybe for one player or another. There are only a few cases like that. Dybala could even be one of them. Okay, but the point is simple. It wasn't even that. He wasn't even offered, so we're not here to deny anyone. I get along really well with Ekran Connor, but could the person who informed him have passed on some information? Conflicting, because a source connected to Flamengo's board guarantees that nothing was offered to Flamengo. Okay, and we get back to that issue, right? People from Jose Boto and from the staff, even Felipe himself, they don't want players over 26. Sometimes Flamengo made exceptions. Let's see what Boto said. Look at this.
Good afternoon, I miss you all. Bye, Ant. Before introducing Vitão here, which is why we're here, I just wanted to say a few words about the market. House of the ball, right? I think that if an extraterrestrial arrived here now and looked at what's being written, at the number of players they're saying are coming to Flamengo, they'd think we finished around 5th place. we had been eliminated from the Libertadores, and that's not what happened at all. 30 days. 40 days ago, we won the Libertadores. We were champions of the Brasileirão, so it's because we have a squad that gives us these chances to win these titles. Yesterday, I heard President Palmeiras speak very well, saying that a team that had hit the post 3 times. Isn't that what she said? She meant to say that it wasn't bad. She's right. They had gotten there, and so they just needed a few adjustments. Now imagine what a team that actually scored needs. That Zanotto, that team doesn't need any revolution. This is to tell you that we have 2 pressing needs, which are the defender we're here to introduce and the goalkeeper. Those are needs that we have, even if we address them at the beginning of the season and then later. Of course, we are keeping an eye on the market and we want to strengthen the squad. We don't want to. The president of Alpha Phi Omega has an analogy that he often uses and that I really like, which is, I need some shoes and I go to the mall and buy a watch, a coat, a shirt, and then I have no money left for the shoes. And then I come back with things I already have and come back without the thing I went there to buy. So we know what we want. We know what we want to further strengthen the squad. No rush, no stress, no. Without getting into that stress that you guys have. And that's normal because it's part of the game. Out of 50 names, I took the time to look at 50 names for Flamengo 50. And today is the 8th, 9th transfer window day, and we're already at 50 names. It's true that you do a good job promoting the players, you do a job for the agents, which is part of the game, that's part of the game, but we're not going to be impressed by that kind of thing. We're going to bring in the players who are permanent. One is here by my side, the other will come, and then we'll bring in the players. If it's possible, the shoes we need, and not another watch, or another coat, or another shirt, and then we end up with 10 shirts and 10 coats, and we're left without the shoes. Are you talking about Vitão now? We had already identified last year that we needed a 4th centre-back. Someone young but with some experience. We had already identified that. Vitão, I've known him for many years. It's Vitão. He came when he was 18 years old to Shakhtar. He was without a doubt one of the best centre-backs in the Brasileirão here. But as I say, to qualify the squad so that we don't have the difficulties we had last year, only with 3 centre-backs, only with 3 central defenders. He'll be very happy here. I know his potential well. It won't be easy since the competition will be tough, but he's ready. And remember that Vitão, at 18 or 19 years old, was already playing in the Champions League. I remember a game where he put Lukaku in his pocket against Inter, and I have a lot of confidence in him. The coach does too, and I'm very happy to have him here now. I'll pass it to him to speak and then to you to ask some questions to him. No, to me. All right.
Him making it clear if it's to strengthen the squad. So that could fit a Dybala, that could fit a John Arias, that could fit a... Yeah, how can I say this? A Galactico. But making it clear that the priority was a centre-back, a goalkeeper, the midfield. He doesn't say it, but we know it might be needed with Saul's problem too. But Flamengo will look for what it needs in the market without pressure, understanding that it just needs to make some fine adjustments. It's only fair, right? They won everything. Look, just to bring this up here, according to the international press, Ekran Connor also reported it, and I'll say this about Paulo Dybala. I think he's an interesting name, but honestly, I don't believe Flamengo will try to sign Paulo Dybala. Not now. even though he's friends with Wesley and all that, and he must have heard a lot about Flamengo. I even believe he was offered to Flamengo, but he's not the profile Flamengo is looking for, okay? So we also have Ekran Connor here bringing this up. West Ham made an inquiry about Leo Pereira, just like Cruz Azul, which we've already mentioned. They made some inquiries. But Flamengo, in turn, made it clear that they are not interested in negotiating Leo Pereira. Because the defender is a key player and starter, Flamengo won't negotiate starters, okay? That's another important situation in the transfer market. Gil Vicente already has a replacement for Andrew in sight, right? Are they seeking a new goalkeeper to replace Andrew? According to ESPN, Flamengo offered 1.5 million euros plus 10% of a future sale for goalkeeper Andrew. Gil Vicente will likely agree but wants to sign a replacement first. And there are two Brazilian goalkeepers on the Portuguese team's radar, Matheus Donelli from Corinthians and Lucão from Red Bull Bragantino. So those are the ones they're looking at. Gil Vicente is set to replace goalkeeper Andrew, who Flamengo will likely sign, so the deal is progressing. Meanwhile, Botafogo's problems keep getting worse, right? Facing the same opponent, since they haven't lifted the transfer ban, that's what happens. The player will end up coming to Flamengo after all, to talk here about the situation with midfielder Allen, right? According to CRF Matos, okay? Then some other profiles started reporting it too, but he was the first to bring it up. That midfielder Allen prefers a transfer to Corinthians, okay? The player has already given his word to São Paulo and is avoiding going back on his decision, okay? Even so, his move to Tricolor is threatened due to internal problems the club is facing. At the same time, the Corinthians board believes that Flamengo might create obstacles in the negotiation because they don't want to strengthen a direct competitor. There's the Supercopa and everything else, okay? So Bruno Lemos was involved in the investigation along with CRF Matos as well. ESPN recently confirmed this information. Midfielder Allen could be transferred to São Paulo, Corinthians, or remain at Flamengo. Flamengo wanted Marcos Antonio from São Paulo, but São Paulo is holding firm, especially while handling the Casares situation. If Allen joins Corinthians, Marcos Antonio won't go to Flamengo since São Paulo won't allow it. So there's this stalemate regarding Marcos Antonio at Flamengo and also Allen leaving, right? According to the article, he's more interested in transferring to Corinthians than to São Paulo. With all the problems happening at São Paulo, there's also interest from Santos, right? Regarding the forward Michael, Flamengo is willing to negotiate Michael, but the information I got is that to release Michael, Flamengo will want to recover at least a good part of the investment they made in the player. It's about $7 million that Flamengo spent to sign Michael, and Flamengo wants to recover at least a considerable part of that, right? Even if they buy 50% of the rights, Flamengo is not going to accept making a deal that is too disadvantageous. Vitor Hugo, for example, is joining Atlético Mineiro for 3 million or 2.5 million euros for 50% of the rights. Yeah, Flamengo might do a similar deal with Michael going to Santos, okay? So is Santos interested in Michael? Now I'm going to leave you here with the behind the scenes of Vito's presentation, Flamengo's new defender, emotional, including that nice moment he had with his daughter.
Yeah, I came from the countryside of Paraná, right? Jacarezinho. Really unlikely, right? I left there and to achieve what I'm achieving, right? I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that a player from the countryside of Paraná would go out and travel the world? And today, he's wearing the jersey of the biggest club in Brazil and one of the biggest in the world. That was the question, right? It got to you, didn't it? Yeah? I'm saying this because my dad is here. My dad was self-employed. He knows all we've experienced. And I'm very grateful for everything. I'll never forget it. And sending a hug to everyone from Jacarezinho to the young people. Never give up on your dreams and trust in God, because anything is possible. Good afternoon, Vitor. I appreciate the affection from the people, right? It was at the airport, when I was there, that I took a break from my vacation to come and sign. To sign, not to come for medical exams. I arrived at 5:30 in the morning. I arrived at 5:30 in the morning, and there were fans at the airport, right? It's an inexplicable passion for me. It's a feeling of gratitude, and I hope I can contribute in the best way possible on the field. I can't leave International and come here to speak badly, right? I have a lot of gratitude for International, right? They understood this step that I needed in my career, and the institutional matters I leave to them, right? I think you know that the financial situation there isn't very good. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here at Flamengo, and I want to thank everyone for the warm welcome. And I've talked about this, there's nothing more to say. I think it's starting to sink in for them. Now I went to Camila, my wife, and said that it could happen, right? Again, that they reached out to me again. She thinks like I do, right? We didn't hesitate. And my dream is her dream, their dream. I'm really happy to share ideas with her, you know, in our daily life. She's someone who takes me to the highest level, helps me in every area, helps me with a nutritionist, physiotherapist, mentor, with everything. So we sat down together, along with my staff, we talked, and it just happened. Exactly what I wanted. Yeah, you come here.
There won't be any talk. It doesn't have to be one or two, otherwise it won't work. Boy.
Come with Daddy.
Come on, please, ask him a question here, look. Does he have personality? This is a place of scandal. Want to ask your father something? No.
Maya wants to ask Daddy a question.
She wants to ask the question and film the entire interview. Maya. Smart, right? Did you see?
I trained her to...
Maya
makes an X.
Can I finish now with your father and brother here? The family shelf, whoever's present. You don't even need to say it's your brother, right?
I'll come here. This is my group, guys.
Yeah.
Huh, that's right. X.
Cool, right? It turned out nice, thank you. It was us. If you want, we can go outside and take a different photo with the field in the background. I think it's good for you, right? Is that okay? So, let's go out through that door over there, take the cameras and equipment, and we'll be there in 2 minutes, okay? For those who are leaving.